start out my talk today, I would like to open it up with a quote, and this is from an anonymous writer. Man, despite his artistic pretensions, his sophistication, and his many accomplishments, owes his existence to a 6-inch layer of topsoil and the fact that it rains. All right, so now we've got the quote out of the way. What I'd like to do is just give you a little bit of my background so that those of you who don't know me will get to know me a little bit, and those of you who do know me, it's a little refresher course. I'm the oldest of 8 in an Italian family of fine art dealers. Even though farmer and fine art dealer both start with the letter F, they are definitely worlds apart. Growing up, my grandmother lived with us, so everything was home cooked. Everything. I mean, could you imagine feeding 8 children? Just cooking those meals 3 times a day? But I thought that, you know, the kids that got to take their lunches to the school, you know, man, I had to go home and suffer through the fresh pot of soup and the loaf of bread that just came out of the refrigerator. So that is one of the areas that I believe that I got connected to a pure, clean, healthy food source. I think I was 7 years old when I went to a birthday party and realized that not everyone got a half a hot dog on a roll, that people actually got a whole hot dog. Because my grandma, eat the bread, you know. I lived all over the world. My father was from Italy, and he was very determined to have his tribe, me and my brothers and sisters, get an education that you cannot get in a book. When I was 7 years old, I lived outside of Rome. I lived out in California, Palos Verdes Peninsula. My dad had an art gallery in the Beverly Hills Hilton Hotel. And when I was 16, I lived in the south of Spain, in Almuñécar, and took the ferry across, saw the monkeys on the Straits of Gibraltar, took the ferries over to Africa, go to Rabat, Tunisia, and even had the opportunity of actually being in a Casbah. Now, what my father, the education, what he wanted to give us was that not everywhere in the world can you turn on a switch and the lights go on, or turn on a faucet and water starts flowing through. Well, that's really been very much embedded in me as an adult today. I'm also the mother of 2 big ones. My daughter is 30, and my son is going to be 25 this year, and this is the year of my unborn grandbaby. So this is a very stellar year insofar as I'm concerned. I arrived in Orange County in 2004, and some of you might know me as, mentioned in Who's Who of Orange County. I got the award of Who's Who in Manure. Can I tell you something? Here I was 53 years old, and I got the phone call from the Times-Herald Record that I won in the category of manure, and I was thrilled. Because compost, let me tell you, if I could, I would marry compost. I really would. So that tells you a little bit about myself. Now, last year, I had 2 situations that occurred in my life that really sent me on a journey. On June the 15th, my mom, the mom of this whole tribe of 8 children, passed on. And that was on a Monday, and that very same week, that Sunday, the 21st, Abundant Life Farm had to move from its location on Prospect Road in Middletown. So I could tell you, what happened after those 2 things occurred is it sent me on a journey inward. And that journey took me about 2.5, 3 months to accomplish. And when I arrived home, I realized that Abundant Life Farm had been transformed. Abundant Life Farm and Linda Borghi will no longer grow for market. We will no longer grow food for you. I will grow food for me. But Abundant Life Farm will teach you how to grow food for yourself. So it's teaching and education. And that's what I'm here to do, a little bit of teaching and education today. So I'm a biodynamic spin farmer. Now that's a mouthful, right? There you go, bingo. So let's start with the first part of that, biodynamic. Biodynamics were given to us by Dr. Rudolf Steiner. And Dr. Steiner was one of the great thinkers of our day. philosopher. He brought us Waldorf education. He brought us eurythmy, which is the form of dance, anthroposophy. And in 1924, Austrian farmers asked Dr. Steiner, what of agriculture, Dr. Steiner? Because they were already, in 1924, very concerned about the viability of their seed and the nutritive value of the food that they were growing. So from that came a series of lectures that is now today known as the agriculture course. And it's like no course that I've ever encountered as far as I am concerned. But I do want to read to you a definition of biodynamics that I find to be the best definition around. It's from the Stella Natura calendar, which I'll get into in just a second. This is how the Stella Natura defines biodynamics. Biodynamics is a science of life forces, a recognition of the basic principles at work in nature, an approach to agriculture which takes these principles into account and brings about a balance and a healing. So, as a biodynamic farmer, we could say, okay, what's the difference between the different foods that we grow, right? Okay, so let's say there's three groups of food: conventional, organic, biodynamic. Well, conventional food is poison. Organic food is hospice care, and biodynamic food is healing. As a biodynamic farmer, we consider the farm an organism, meaning nothing is brought onto the farm from the outside. We need compost, we need cow poop, we have to have a cow. We need a little bit of pasture, we need some water, we need a little bit of forest. So everything is in balance. As a biodynamic farmer, I farm the soil, but I also farm the air. You know, the Benedictine monks have been planting by the moon for centuries. As a biodynamic farmer, Dr. Steiner gave us the insight that there's more planets up there than just the moon. So Jupiter affects the root crop. Moon affects the leaf crop. And knowing those gestures and those energy exchanges, you know, it's like steering a boat with a wheel. Instead of waking up in the morning and saying, okay, I think I'll plant potatoes today. No, what I would do is I would go to my calendar, which has 50 years of research of one woman planting in all the different horoscope signs. Get a load of that, right? That's a lot of radishes. And then it's 4 categories. I would just look, today is a leaf day, so I want to sow my lettuce or water my lettuce. But you know, anyone, anywhere can garden or farm biodynamically. I have these out on the table. Anyone that's interested, talk to me and we'll teach you how to spray. But you know, biodynamics is not just touchy-feely stuff, folks. Here's biodynamics in a big way. The country of Egypt in 1977, biodynamics went into the country, started growing cotton biodynamically, and because of that, that country has reduced her pesticide use by 90%. Now that's a number, right? Their yield was increased by 30%, and their water consumption reduced by 50%. Okay, so those are numbers, right? Numbers. Here is an article that was written not very long ago. It's a field research study that proves that using the biodynamic spray removes the DDT from the soil. Remove it. Okay. Well, so there you go. So biodynamics are big and little, and it's my intention to spread it around right here in River City. So let's start with the second part of my title, Spin Farmer. No, I don't go like this. I have very low blood pressure. I would fall down. SPIN stands for Small Lot Intensive. And spin farming is a method that was developed by Wally in Saskatchewan, Canada. Now, in Saskatchewan, if you blink, your season is over. Then a woman by the name of Roxanne Christensen came upon Wally's methods. She's in Philadelphia, and she said, I don't know, this sounds too good to be true. So she developed and started a research project, and for 3 years did spin farming practices down right outside of Philadelphia, and on a half an acre of land, After their third year, they generated $64,000 in gross revenue.
Wow.
Half an acre land. What are